All right, so again, that's under, change my view. Here we go, productivity test 2, review. So basically, the test will mainly covers modules 3, 4, 5. 3 is more of new functions, right? Starting with VLOOKUP F, mode, round. There's actually a number of functions appear from module 3. I think some are somewhat difficult, like VLOOKUP F. Those conditional functions are, I think, it can be difficult depending on the, question prompt. And module 4 is about creating chart and graphs. So it can be, probably more interesting than other modules because the main thing is just creating charts. However, there's a few things you need to be careful, like especially when you create a pie chart. I'm going to show you how, but pie chart is very specific. It's not like you're creating for column, line, or other charts. So I'm going to show you pie chart because I'm sure I'm going to ask you specifically creating pie chart. Okay. And module 5 is about working with multiple worksheets and workbooks. But I kind of doubt we're going to have this because I think focus is more on 3 and 4. So probably little from module 5. Okay. And don't forget about project 1, which is sum product and rank. I wonder we have I don't think we have in test 1, right? So yeah, sum product and rank function will be there. Then remember, this is a while back, I think I added to somewhere in the module 2 related to text manipulating functions like left, right, mid, upper, can, cat function. So we should have those functions appear in the tests. Okay. And then I had some examples that you can find from other sources because the book has some, dedicated many pages trying to explain VLOOKUP and other functions, but somewhat limited in terms of using actual examples. So these are some examples. They use the different numbers, different data sets. So I think it's going to be helpful. So that's why I have it here for some examples of VLOOKUP and another one using if. So hopefully they can help you practice with the real examples. Right? Then in terms of sample tests, so that's something we're going to go over. So I think I have it here. Yeah, there you go. This is the data file. I think somewhat I started doing it already. So this is the data file for sample questions. And I'm going to move those worksheets that I already created. So I think in this example, we have sheet 1. That's from the very left side. So in this example, we have student ID, names, and we have 5 items for this particular class, homework, project, quiz, exam 1, exam 2. So with those 5, we're going to work on total, average, grade, and find the rank. Okay. So total, according to the questions, this is the question set. Right here. So not only using those calculations like sum, average, whatever, we're going to insert a round function, a round function in front of that particular function, so that in case we have a multiple, decimal places, 2 or 3, whatever number of decimal places, we can round up or round to certain number of positions. Okay, in this example, we're going to round to the nearest integer, meaning no decimal places, right? Same thing. We're going to use the average, but we're going to round the result to the nearest integer with the no decimal places, right? So that's something different from simple sum or average function itself. So here we go. So I'm going to show the formula view. So you're going to start from sum. Well, you can start from round. That's fine if you're confident how to do it. You can start from round, but typically it's done from whatever the calculation. Then you're going to insert the round to sum. Then you're going to have a round, and you have a parenthesis in front of sum. Then comma. This comma is for the round, not for the sum. And then you need to show how many decimal places. In this case, nearest integer, round to the nearest integer, meaning no decimal places. So that's why you have 0, right? And if you want it round to the 1 decimal place, then that will be 1, right? If you want to round to the 2 decimal places, just add a 2. That's how it goes, okay? Or you can just round to the tens position, not 2 decimal places, tens or hundreds. Then this becomes negative, right? So this, whatever number will round to the tens position. And if you have a 2, then it'll be hundreds, for example, right? Well, in this example, this nearest integer, so 0 is correct. And the other one, average, so we are finding average with those 5 items. But again, we're going to round to the nearest integer, so you have a round in front. Then we're going to give a 0 for round function so that we can round to the integer without any decimal places. Okay. Then we have a column K. I think the question, I have a mistake here. Even though it says VLOOKUP, there's no setup for VLOOKUP. So it should be if function. So this can be either VLOOKUP or if, but in this case, I think I made it as a if function, right? So idea is based on your average, right? Average is given, calculated right here, column J. So we're going to determine A, B, C, D, those letter grades. But what are the setup? What are the structure of A, B, C, D? And that's on the lookup table worksheets right here. So they will give you how to determine A, B, C, D, F. Right? So above 90, A, above 80, B, and so forth. So that's the determination of your letter grade. This can be moved to some reason I just put it there, but we can always move this up to here. Maybe in the test I made made to do it, but no matter where place you can use, you can just use it for your reference. So anyway, so how we're going to determine letter grade for average score? In this case, we're going to use the if function, not VLOOKUP, because we don't have that VLOOKUP set up, right? And if I have to make it VLOOKUP, then I'm going to just create, somewhere here, so make a kind of a horizontal structure so that I can give it whatever the score and A, B, C, D. But in this example, we're going to use the if function. So to determine that letter grade, we're going to use if, but you're going to start from the highest score. Okay, so J5 is the average. So here we go. We're going to test whether J5, the average score is greater than 89, because 90, because A includes 90 itself, right? So it should be greater than 89. Or you can make it greater than 90 or equal to 90, So you can, but I chose to use just greater than, okay, so 89. So it includes 90. Same thing here, 79, 69, and so forth. So based on the syntax, we're going to enter A, if 89 greater than 89, and you will have an A, obviously. If it's not, then the Excel will look further and test against 79. Okay, satisfying. For some reason that's 80, then it'll give you B, right? Or 85, whatever score. Otherwise, meaning this J5 is not still below 79, then you look for further, right? Which is this 69. Again, if the score is satisfying, it'll give you C. Otherwise, still, if it's not 69, then you'll look further. Look for 59. Finally, your score is like a 59 or 60 or 61, it'll give you D. But otherwise, F. You can do like a if, once again, like a J5 greater than 49, less than 50. Is it? Let's see. 59, right? 59. Or 60. Then it'll give you F. But rather than doing it, because this last determination, then you'll give you F. Because whatever the last thing you're going to have is F. So rather than starting another if, you'll just give it as F. Right? But don't forget double quotation, because in Excel formula, to show the letter or character, you need to have a double quotation around. Number, you don't need double quotes, but for characters, you need to have a double quotes. Watch out for the punctuation at the end, that closing parenthesis 4 times, because you open 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? So you need to close 4 times at the end. So that's how you get, this is kind of nested if, what we call, a little advanced and simple F, but I'm not sure we're going to have this kind of, but I thought this is a good try. But I'm sure we're going to have a function, right? One way or another. And the next one is based on average. Okay, we're going to determine the rank. The highest score will get 1. Then you can move down to 2, 3, 4, all the way down to the lowest score. Okay. So using rank function, so using J5 against J to J, meaning entire J. You can do it like a J5 to whatever at the end, but you can easily do J to J. Okay. So default is highest to lowest, but if you want to make it lowest highest for some reason, right? Then you can do like a 1. Then it'll start from the 1, the first position with a low score, right? Because default is just descending order, the highest score at the top. So you don't need any other argument after J to J. So that's the rank function. Any question about these worksheets?
You can email us this worksheet, the answers, just to review in practice when we practice it.
Email? What do you mean?
Like to post the worksheet, the spreadsheet, the worksheet.
No, I cannot. I'm sorry, I cannot send email attachment. But
okay.
You can always
review the video.
Yep. Or you can always ask me, but I cannot send the file itself. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, that's okay.
Okay.
All right. You'll post the video though, right?
Of course. Yep.
All right.
You can just type it in right now. So.
Yeah.
Any other questions about these worksheets? All right, so let's move on to the other one. Again, this is the if, not the VLOOKUP, but there's always chance we can use VLOOKUP for same, kind of setup. So, and this one, the sheet number 2, also have I think there's a little confusion. I'm sorry, because I was trying to copy from previous ones. I made a few mistakes. So here we go. You can go back to this question set, and then like a step C should be like, you should read like this, right? So just ignore whatever we have it right now, but the step C for if function must be asking this kind of question, okay? Same thing with next step, which is combo chart. Okay, combo chart should be like this. But I'm going to explain it. Okay. All right, so what we have here is also make sure in this worksheets B6, make sure B6 has 4.5, whatever the percentage, okay? So make sure it is not general or regular number. It must be percentage, okay? For example, if it's like a general with a 4.5, the number becomes huge, right? See this? So make sure this number, which is B6, must be percentage. Okay, you can change it to a 0.045. Then just go to right here, number format, make it percentage, and 2 decimal places. Okay. I think there's some error, or some reason I think when I copy it didn't make it to percentage. So that's one thing we need to check, B6. Okay. So idea of this worksheet is trying to find the monthly payment based on this loan. You have you're trying to make a loan out of bank or whatever. The amount is $300,000. It's like a home. Then we're going to calculate monthly payment, but don't worry about those PMT function already entered. Okay, so we are not interested in PMT function. We're only interested in if function that we're going to do. Okay, so because PMT function again is already built in, we don't have PMT function in the textbook, so we're not going to talk about it. But we only want to talk about this if function in this worksheet. Okay. So first step was just enter the amount, 300,000. Then we're going to increase by 2,000 every step. So that's why we have here, starting from 300,000, 300,000, and adding 2,000 each, then it'll go up all the way down. So that's why we have here column A. So with that amount, and we're trying to see how much you have to pay monthly, okay? So that's what we have in PMT. Again, PMT is out of scope, so we don't have to know. But the only thing we are worried about is if function, right? So idea is we try to see whether this monthly amount is 1% of loan amount. So we're going to compare this monthly payment and loan amount you're borrowing. So if this amount is greater than 1% of loan amount, then we're going to do something. Then we feel that that's too expensive. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Same thing, this amount all the way down. Okay, so here's the scenario. So B9, which is a loan amount, is greater than 1% of A9, which is monthly payment. Then we will show as that percentage, which is 1%. Okay. Otherwise, meaning that this monthly payment is less than or equals to 1% of loan amount, then we will show as within range. Okay. I think there's some typo. Range. Range. What am I doing here too? Okay, there you go. All right. So that's how this scenario works. So doesn't, the question itself doesn't mean too much. It can be arbitrary. It can be 2%, 3%, but we're trying to make it question so that we can use the if function. Okay. So that's a good example of how to use if function. Any question about this one? Using if? And the other reason I'm using this is so that we can create a bunch of charts. Okay, so that's why I'm having this, some pre-built formulas and all that, because it's kind of easier to work with charts. So charts that we're going to create, the main chart is combo chart, right? There's the combo chart example. So how are we going to create it? So the direction says we're going to select those 3 columns, right? So we're going to create a combo chart, meaning we can have a multiple type of chart combined into one. So we're going to go to Insert and look for the chart area. And I can click Recommended Charts all charts, combo chart is at the bottom from this list, right? Then direction says you need to watch out for this chart type and other options. So loan amount and total cost, I'm going to make it clustered column based on the direction. And also the direction says monthly payment, make it line. So I'm going to select line. Same thing also, the step says make it monthly payment secondary axis, meaning that you're going to set up another axis to the right side. Okay, so I'm going to click that secondary axis box, checkbox. Oh, wait a minute. Well, clustered box is selected. Let's try it again. Oh, it's all because I already created. I don't think so. Let's try it again. Insert recommended chart, combo chart, right? Let's go back. Total costs and loan amount is column chart, the monthly payment line chart, right? It is right. Okay. Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Column. Yeah. There you go. So that's how you're going to choose it. Make it loan, total cost as a cluster column, and monthly payment as a line. Then you need to select secondary axis checkbox. Okay. So it should look like this. So see that difference? If you click secondary axis box, then it'll give this right side the vertical axis. Okay. There you go. And direction says you're going to move to or create it as own worksheets. Okay. So you better just click move chart and click new sheets. And we're going to name it as combo chart. Okay. There you go. So the entire sheets, we have a combo chart background, right? Unlike this chart, trying to make it bigger, but there's a limitation. So you can make its own worksheets. It's right here. And while you are in this combo chart, I think they are asking to edit, for example, this right side, which is the what they call secondary axis. You can always double click, right? And the main thing you need to focus is chart element, right? If you click this cross, green cross at the top right here, it'll give you all the elements, okay, from title, labels, bar, slides, and everything, okay? Or you can just double click on specific item or element. Double click, give you this options. Double click, same thing. You can double click horizontal axis, then it give you all the options. Okay. So in this example, I think it's asking to edit minimum and maximum. Okay. So Again, this right side is the monthly payment, okay? And left-hand side is going to read loan amount and total costs. So it may ask you to make minimum right here rather than 21. You can make it 2,000. Okay. Or major, which will give you the, this unit difference. Make it, maybe you can make it a 200 instead. But that's how you're going to work with here in the axis option, minimum, maximum, major. You can even make it smaller, make it 50, then give you that's small. So that's how you're going to work with this axis option. Then also the chart element, you can add chart axis title. For example, I want to add the axis title to this right side because I'm not sure what exactly on this side indicates. So then you want to click axis title, then you can click secondary vertical right here. Then you're going to type what it is. This is monthly payment. Okay. Same thing if you want to show it the other side, you can do so. Axis title, that's the primary vertical. So then you can type it in loan amount and total costs. And also, what else is asking? So that's the if function we did it, and also we did a combo, right? And we work with this secondary axis, editing secondary axis with maximum, minimum, and major, and axis title, right? And add a data label. What about data label? Okay. For example, you want to show data label to show specific amount to each data label. You can do so. You can always go to, for example, you want to show only, because there are a lot of things going on here. I want to show only this bar, okay? To data label, then you go to chart element, then you go to data label, and you can go to more option, or you can just select what it is right away. Then I think I want to go to more options so that I can see my options. I think it's not easily. Let's try it again. Okay. Let's try it again with data label. Outside in. Call out. That's how to read, right? Center. I think actually the font is too big. That's the problem, right? We can do outside in and make it font smaller. Oh, that's the trick. You can always go to make it font. I don't know how far we can make it small. It's too small a little bit, but if you have to add, okay, data label, that's how you're going to do it. Okay. It's all under chart elements. Same thing with the legend. Legend is at the bottom right now, right? Those are the legend. If you don't like a legend or for some reason you want to get rid of legend, then you go to chart element and legend and take it off. Or you can move to left or right depending on. So those are some examples of how to format your charts. Specifically a combo chart, right? And next one is you working with the regional worksheets, creating line chart. I think it's pretty much the same thing. Then format, change the field color. Well, I think I already did it somehow. So what I did was we need to create line chart using those two columns, right? Highlight, insert, line. You can go to all chart and go to line, or you can just choose the recommended charts in this example. But I'd rather go to all chart and select line and select this. There you go. Let me just move this away. Come on. Okay. All right. In this example, I think it's you're going to work with this vertical axis and make it axis option minimum. I think minimum is 50 somehow. Okay. Maximum 130. Major 10, but if you ask it like a 15, that's how you're going to change it. Major between the units. And the other thing asked was view color. Okay. So in terms of filling the background, okay. So you have chart area. Every chart has a chart area and plot area. Okay, plot area contain only that particular data series. Chart area can contain other things like title, legend, and all that. So you want to make it different color. You just right-click on the background of the chart. Then this is the fill chart area, and choose a different color. For example, it's asking yellow. Just select yellow. At the same time, you know, color your plot area different color. So make sure it is plot area and select white. There you go. Right. So you can have a kind of different color, trying to make it more effective. Okay, so that was the original worksheets. However, we need to go to sheets 3, even though it didn't talk about in this example, in this document. I think the main thing trying to show it here is Let me just delete this thing first. Somehow it's not. Backline cannot delete. Well, that's fine. Main thing, I think it was a blank, the original data set. And let me open up from here. There you go. Okay, let me show you again. Well, it's too many workbooks, but here, this is the original data set. So one thing I was trying to do is, even though I didn't include here, you need to insert sparkline, okay? Meaning that you can show kind of mini version chart right here using data set from other worksheets, okay? So the step asks you to insert sparkline into this area. So you need to highlight this area to insert sparkline. So what data are you going to use? The data we're going to use is this regional worksheets, okay? And I think it's more likely this area here, okay? So that's something I didn't include, but we can always include in the tests, for example. So you're going to highlight this area. This becomes your data that you're going to include. So here we go. I'm going to go back, highlight this area to insert sparkline. I'm going to go to Insert tab to insert sparkline. Where is my sparkline? Right here. So three kinds of sparklines. And let's insert line type. So data range. So which data are you going to use? So I'm going to go to regional. Then I'm going to highlight this range so that I can have this filled out. So data range is right here. Location that you're going to show sparkline is this area. Then you're going to click OK. There you go. So that's your sparkline. Right? It's kind of give you only trends. But that's something you can do with the sparkline. But again, I didn't include in the sample questions. But all right. What else we have it? So I think we had it enough charts and all that. The last sheets, number 4, workday and network days. Okay, that's another type of functions appear in module 3. So we're going to move to sheets 4. So 2 different functions here. So what we're trying to do is we try to calculate working days between these 2 different dates. Okay, April 1st, April 6th, and all that, it goes all the way down. We try to find how many working days between these 2. It's not simple. You cannot do it manually because there's always holidays, weekends, all those dates. So that's why workday function, net workday function comes in here, okay? Trying to find how many working days. So syntax is net workdays and insert 2 different dates, starting date, end date. Then it'll give you how many working days. Well, workday function is already here, but it's repeating column C. So workday will determine the next day you're going to come back from your holiday or weekends. Okay, for example, right here. So the day you're trying to calculate is April 1st. Then when you're going to come back, if there's a 5 working days, right? That's what it means. So you're going to just have it workday, the date, the start date, and the 5 days, holiday or whatever break. Then the next day you're going to come back is April 6th. But some days not always 5 days difference, right? Because again, there's holidays and weekends and all that. So pretty simple functions. One is work days and the other is net work days and the other is work day. All right. Any questions about any of those? Question? Comments? Before I forget, I mentioned about pie charts, right? So where's my pie chart? Back. Oops, oh, not this one. There you go. Okay, so what if you are asked to create a pie chart, okay, for the column grade right here? You have different kinds of grades depending on the students, so you have a bunch of those A, B, C, D all the way down. So you need to create a pie chart. How are you going to do that? So that you have all those, different combination of how many A's and B's and all that given those multiple pies. First instinct is just highlight it, right? Highlight the column, then go to insert, go to pie chart, right? And see what happens. Doesn't give you what you want. Even recommended chart doesn't have pie chart. See that? Recommended chart doesn't have pie chart. Try to create a pie chart, but this is what you get. Then how are you going to overcome this problem? You'll have a very similar problem for many different kinds of this data set. Not only grades, for example, on those binary data set, like a man, woman, male, female, those kind of data set has a similar problems, right? So what you need to do is for that kind of data set, you need to either first you need to set up all this A, B, C, D, C, D, F, right? Then you can count how many A's. If it's countable, if it's like a 20, 30, 40, or even 100, you can count, right? If time permitted. But if you're like thousands, you cannot count, right? Then you need to use second method. So again, first method is count them and record. Let's say you have 10, 28, 10, 2, 3, just I made up. Let's say you record, you count it like that. Then you can highlight this data set to create a pie chart. See that pie chart show up right away. So now you see the problem. To create a pie chart, you need to have this dimension of data set. Not only number, but you need to have data categorized so that Excel understand how to create them, right? So that's the first method. You can count, right? Then create a table like this. The second method you can do is a little bit more advanced method. You're going to use what they call pivot table, pivot charts. I think some of you already know how to use pivot table, pivot chart. That's a good example. So all you do is just go to pivot table. Click pivot table. Then it's going to ask you to create a pivot table background. So this is the kind of playground to create a table so that you can customize whatever data based on here. So data set we can work is already here in this side. So what we need is grade. So I'm going to click grade, right? So A, B, C, D, F is given right here. Right here. Then you're going to insert into value section one more time. And it's going to count. Sometimes you can just change. Doesn't have to be count. It can be sum, average, whatever different calculation. So it'll give you this table with the A and number of A, B, number of B's. Then next thing you're going to do is to creating a chart. Then you're going to click pivot chart right there. So that you can select pie there. So this is the second method that you can create a pie chart using pivot table. Okay, so that's something you need to be aware of, but the book doesn't tell you these steps. Okay, book just give you, conveniently give you the structure so that you can create a pie chart. But in real world, that's not always the case. You can have all kinds of different combination of data. All right. Question about pie chart? or anything you have in mind. Okay, looks like you are good, right?
What about case 2 problem? Any you'll be posting any video or so? Case 2 problem?
Say it again.
Case 2 problem, this week assignment, if you'll be posting any instruction video.
Are you talking about assignment?
Yes. Case 2 problem.
Case 2. Let me see. Case 2. Case 1. Give me 1 second. Case 2. Module 6, case 2, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Module 6, case problem 2. I have a videos, so I'm going to post them. Okay?
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks so much on this
Yeah.
this
Okay.
Teams meeting video also.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Okay, so anytime you have problem, questions, just let me know, okay? Don't try to spend hours by yourself, okay? Just let me know first.